What's up everybody, Sunkissed here, and in today's video we're going to be showing you a full raid build for ghoul characters. I did a full raid build for a human character about a week and a half or so ago, so I'm making one for ghoul characters out there. I want to know down in the comments what's your favorite stage of the raid, and I'll catch you at the end of the video. Alright, looks like we got our stealth bonus to activate. Palm at 8700 damage, just melting the 6 Guardian. And we got a 34-second solo run against the snake. All right, so we'll just start off with our mutations quick here, since they'll be used on both builds. We have adrenal reaction, bird bones, eagle eyes, egghead, herbivore, herd mentality, marsupial, and speed demon. I think these are all pretty applicable to most builds, and that's just what I personally run on this character. So starting off with the weapons for our EN06 build. Our main weapon here is going to be the Enclave Plasma Flamer. It's going to be a Furious, Rapid, Intelligence, and Pinpointers for the legendary effects. We have the Prime Capacitor, True Flamer Barrel, Precision Stock, a Precise Stock, and Short Night Vision Scope. I think the True Flamer Barrel is the best because it gives the highest AP cost. I could be wrong about that, but as long as you have a Flamer Barrel, that's kind of really what you're shooting for. And then the weapon that we're going to be holding in our hand and shooting occasionally at the EN06 Guardian is this 50 limb damage quad pepper shaker. So we primarily, again, we just use this to activate Bullet Storm because that will increase our reflective damage against the Guardian. And that for the mods, you just have a hex barrel, standard magazine. And it's very important to keep the standard magazine because that does help you do extra limb damage. Our armor, let's put this down so you can take a look. It's a full set of troubleshooters, +2 intelligence, food, drink, and chem weight reduction, and reflective. This is pretty straightforward. Shouldn't have any issues staying really tanky with this. And also the +2 intelligence is going to buff your damage from the science perk card for your Enclave Plasma Flamer. Where's the perk machine? There it is. All right, so here is the special point allocation. Feel free to take a screenshot if you'd like. Here are the legendary cards. We have Follow Through, taking one for the team, and various legendary special cards. And looking at the actual perks, I'll actually start over on luck because it's the easiest one to start with. We have Ricochet, so we can reflect damage back to the Guardian. Multi-spots to do weak point damage, which is essentially the entire Guardian once the shield breaks. One gun army to do extra limb damage, and we're going to also reflect that limb damage back to the Guardian while it shoots us. Over in agility, we pretty much have all the gunslinger / onslaught perk cards maxed out. Covert operative maxed out for extra sneak damage. Over in intelligence, for the damage-related perks, we have Science Monster, since this will give us a little bit of extra damage against the Guardian for 10 seconds after it hits us. Batteries included, since we're going to be carrying a bunch of energy, ammo. Science, this will buff our Enclave Plasma Flamer damage. This is a quality of life perk, so I'm not burning through fusion cores. Feel free to add that if you'd like or not. Strange numbers, this is honestly just a must for most builds. And most important things over in endurance is going to be bullet shield. And I would say fireproof, since the explosive damage from the Guardian can hit pretty hard. This will help mitigate that, and bullet shield will help us reflect more damage to the shield. Over in perception, we have Number Cruncher, Tank Killer, Tormentor, Smart Shot, Center Masochist. Don't really need Tormentor, I just have that on there as a little throw-in. And then in strength, we pretty much just have all the Bullet Storm mechanic cards kind of thrown in there. For the most part, the really important ones you honestly want is just bring in the big guns, Lock and Load, and Bullet Storm. That will allow you to just keep as many stacks of Bullet Storm as you can. So yeah, that's a look at the EN06 build. All right, let's see the sort of time we can get on the EN06 Guardian with our whatchamacallit here. EN06 Ghoul build. Oh, don't want to have that out actually. I want to have this out. And this. cycle buff here. Alright, looks like we got our stealth bonus to activate. Palm at 8,700 damage. Just melting the 6 Guardian healths away. And 52 seconds, not bad at all. As far as the second stage, or the drill stage, I run the same exact build as I've just showed you. Let me get back into it here. I run this exact build. The only difference that I really make is I might pop a Scout's Banner just for the possible chance that you might get auto-revived if the Ultracite Mole Miner hits you. If not, I mean, this build is just fine for running that stage. You essentially just have to defend the drill. Enclave Plasma Flamer is totally fine for defending the drill. And for the Enclave Generals, which is the third stage, I also run this class because the Enclave Plasma Flamer is also really good against the Enclave Generals. You just have to aim at their heads once they come out of their little hibernation chambers or whatever they are. So essentially the build that I just showed you is going to be what I use for stages 1 through 3. And for the fourth stage, which is the Ultracite Crystal stage, again, I'm still using the same build as stages 1 through 3. The only difference is I'm going to use a quad weapon speed laser rifle with the beam splitter to take out the Ultracite crystals. Those are destroyed by number of projectiles hitting them, so multi-projectile weapons are really good at taking those out fast. So something like the Cold Shoulder or semi or fully auto shotguns are great options for taking those out. But this is personally what I use for that. All right, let's give our snake build a try here. We have a Blight Soup active, a a Big Gun Bobblehead active, and we also have a Tesla Science 7 for crit damage, a Blight Soup for crit damage, and then Brain Fungus Soup for a little bit of intelligence, which will buff our Science card, which buffs energy damage. Also take a cycle buff right now, and we'll get ready to spam some coffee and see how we do. Overall, seen some really good damage so far, and this is without taking one for the team active here, so gonna see what we get once that activates. And we're able to just keep shooting because we have brick wall active. Still shooting without any issue here. And we got a 34-second solo run against the snake. Pretty damn good if you ask me. And for our Ultracite Terror, or the Ultracite Snake, we're going to be using a Gauss minigun. Pretty standard here. Various weapon speed, less AP costs, and conductors with the Pentabarrel and the Tesla Coil Dynamo. You could run the other capacitor slash dynamo. I just like the 600 round mag just because it's more convenient to run with Bulletstorm because you're reloading less often, so you'll have more stacks and you'll more consistently reload to having 10 stacks and staying above 10 stacks for longer, or even holding 20 stacks for longer. Just having that 600 round mag makes a pretty big difference. But over in our special points, here's what they are. Feel free to screenshot if you like. Now, the legendary perk cards are going to be exactly the same. If I'm having particular problems, like sometimes the Ultracite Snake just seems like it wants to target you, you could run Funky Duds here instead of, let me inspect the perk cards here. You could run Funky Duds instead of Follow Through. I don't really throw it on unless I'm having trouble with the snake. And normally with the ghoul, if you start the fight with full glow, you normally have enough health to kind of just weather the storm anyways. But starting over in strength, we have pretty much all the Bulletstorm mechanic cards, a few carry weight perk cards, and then Brick Wall is also really nice because the snake will do that drop down and bite attack kind of towards the beginning of the fight, And if you have your glow high enough, this will completely mitigate that, so you can just keep shooting through it, which you'll see on the build showcase in just a moment here. But over perception, we have Number Cruncher, Tank Killer, Concentrated Fire rank 3, Awareness, and Eye of the Hunter. These really make a big difference, getting those VATS accuracy percentage numbers up. Over in Endurance, we have Life Giver, Bullet Shield, and Glowing Gut. Strange numbers. Intelligence is more or less the same, honestly, as the Enclave Plasma Flamer / Eno6 build, but we also threw in Demolition Expert to buff the damage on the Gauss minigun. The only difference really in agility is going to be getting rid of Covert Operative and kind of just maxing out Guerrilla. And then I just threw in 1 rank of Gunfu just because it's convenient to use this build and outside of the raid, and Gunfu is just a really good quality of life perk. Over in luck, we have Ricochet, Faulty Spots, Better Criticals, 4-Leaf Clover, Critical Savvy, and Glowing Criticals. And one thing is, if you have the build set up the way I do, you should maintain a luck of 16, which with the armor that I'll show you in just a moment should be good for critting every other shot. So what I have here is a full set of Nocturnals with 1-piece Chameleon, and the other stars are +2 agility, Food Drink Chem Weight, and Limit Breaking. The +2 agility will give us obviously more AP points, action points, and also having Chameleon and Nocturnals will also buff our AP, since it's buffing essentially our VATS accuracy and our number of action points. So I highly recommend running Nocturnals with 1-piece of Chameleon. Thank you so much for making it to this point in the video. I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit that like button to boost this video to a further audience. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks again.